some buoyancy in markets right now, but we want to talk about what's happening around hiring and what's happening in the UAE and graduates, how they're faring, and has AI, have the robots taken over? And we've got a special guest who's going to join us now to talk about it. Aws Ismail from Marc, Ellis, who's the co-founder. Morning, mate. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good. Look, I mean, it has dominated the narrative. It has dominated markets for a long, long time now, which is AI, all things AI. When you put that back into the prism of where we are from a recruitment point of view, it's an interesting dynamic, one we haven't had. But look, talk to us about what's happening in all the world of recruitment right now. Recruiters say the picture in the UAE is more resilient than that in the UK. Graduate hiring is falling. What are you seeing here?
I think it's a very, very interesting topic. I think the dynamic of employment is changing quite drastically in terms of how it used to be done before to what it is now, the type of positions that are coming up. A lot of new positions are coming because of AI. So that means AI is not replacing people, it's just creating new opportunities on the different parts of the market. So that's what we see.
But, okay, playing devil's advocate here as I do, is that not tail wagging the dog, though? Eventually, if you don't hire people to code, then that language learning model doesn't learn anymore. And how do the wheels keep turning? That's what everyone's worried about. There's a robot that's got to come out of my machine and take over the world. Like, of course, that's only for Will Smith in certain Hollywood movies. But that is a sort of reality, isn't it? We still need the talent and the people to come through at university to make these systems better.
Correct. So actually, AI can learn and teach itself. So that's what we've come to know. Like, as the more it uses it, or the more we use it as humans, the more it's learning. What's different and where people need to focus on is the skills that AI can't actually do. These skills are communication, people skills. Things like going to a room and understanding the room. These are things that AI can't do, and these is what's going to be growing in the future.
Music to my ears, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well, because that is the concern that I think a lot of industries have, is that the more administrative roles that, again, keep the wheels turning within every economy can be replaced by AI. But I'll give you an example. When I have a problem with my mobile phone bill, I want to talk to someone. I want that human interaction. I think the vast majority of people do. So how realistic is it for AI to take over certain administrative roles? And if you're going to university, which a lot of people are, I got their A-level results last Thursday and looking at what they're going to do, how concerned should you be as an 18-year-old going into that next level of education?
I think here in this part of the world, you shouldn't be that concerned from a graduate point of view. Companies are still hiring, and companies can still understand that even if AI is taking a lot of the roles and so on, you still need your future leaders, you still need your senior staff in the future. So if you don't hire people now, what do you how are you going to cope in the future? But what's different is graduates themselves needs to sort of adapt and change their understanding of how to get a job, how to actually use AI for their own benefit. And that's what a lot of people miss. There's this whole stigma of AI is there to replace people. I think it's the opposite. AI is there to improve people's efficiency, productivity, and get them to do more if they learn to work with it and if they learn to capitalize on its benefits.
Work smarter, not harder, but
Correct.
Don't say that to the kids, obviously. But okay, you raise a good point there, because you said here in the region it's not as much of an impact. Why? Why is that more of an issue in the UK compared to? Is that adoption? Is that government incentives? Tell me about why it's a regional issue or a geographical issue as opposed to just a general issue.
I think because the talent pool here, or the graduate pool, is much smaller than it is in the UK. So that obviously impacts straight away. I mean, when you have a huge talent pool in the UK or people graduating at the same time, of course, there's lesser jobs as such, but there's still enough candidates to cover those. So that's the difference between here and there and what we're seeing.
Okay, I mean, because look, if I'm going to look at it from a business point of view, which we have to, and I'm running a company where I can cut a significant percentage of my workforce in order to increase bottom line, that's a bit short term though, isn't it?
Correct. Absolutely. And that's what I was saying about the part where you have to think about your future as an employer. You have to think about your business's future. Who's going to lead that business in the future? How do you create the future leaders? If you cut the bottom line, which is the graduate jobs and so on, how are you going to grow? What's your next level?
Yeah, because we've had, so I mean, certainly from my ignorance is unbound at the best of times, but talking about data centers, right? And I know we're talking about AI and what that whole infrastructure means. But the reason I mention that is because that's a new industry, certainly for me. People building data centers, building massive cold factories where people can go in there and put their GPUs, I know what that is now, and they're cooled down to a certain point. There's a whole recruitment drive surely around that new industry as well, no? So would you argue that because of AI, because of the way that people are looking how AI can replace a certain percentage of where people work, call centers, have we moved from a call center to a data center world?
Yes, definitely. Because AI can do the call center role. And I know you mentioned earlier, I want to call someone and speak to a human.
Yeah.
If you see technology now and how good the AI is, you can't tell the difference if it's AI or human. The latency, the way it sounds, the accent, everything else, it's very human sounding.
Yeah, because just going back, another anecdote. I was in the UK and I wanted to buy some groceries. And I usually like having a conversation at the checkout till saying, oh, would you like a bag? I can buy a bag. You can't do that in the UK. That's like a criminal offence these days. But there's no one at the tills. It's all automatic and all of that. I don't like the future of that because, like I said, I like being old-fashioned and talking to people. I think that a lot of other people do. But give me a prediction. In 3 years' time, just because you've got 30 seconds with you, 3 years' time, what will businesses be doing with AI today, specifically around recruitment, that sounds a bit ridiculous today?
I think, look, there's a role which is very, very key, which is growing now. It's called a forward deployment engineer. And companies will be focused on that role. Why? Because that's the role that it's a human, it understands what's happening in the business and then translates that into the AI. And that's what currently is growing massively in the market and globally.
Forward development engineer.
Forward deployment engineer.
Forward deployment engineer. See, I
Correct.
can't even say it, and you said it's 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But we'll get you back in to talk to about that because this whole industry is going to change within 30 minutes, let alone 3 years.
Absolutely.
But Aws Ismail, thanks for coming in today. Co-founder of Marc, Ellis. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.